going on, Jerome's? Thrill is gone. Thrill is gone. Not Will the Thrill. He made his kick. Great. But the Vikings, 2 straight nut low, absolutely no call, no show performances, and they out. They gone. Now, yes, there's going to be a lot of reconciliation of, well, maybe 7 wins if they're lucky. Oh, we're going to win the Super Bowl. And then it's like, we're supposed to win 7 games. No, it was a spot of this team was underestimated going into the season. This team played some very damn good, inspired football throughout the year. This team, I know that people are going to say, well, they only beat 3 teams with a winning record. The Niners were pretty good at the time. Beat the Texans, beat the Packers twice. All that stuff. They won some big-time games, but wasn't enough. Wasn't enough. And they got embarrassed. Down in Arizona. Darnold sacked 9 times. Part of it was on the O-line. Part of it was on him. Part of it was on Kevin O'Connell's play calling. It was just a mess. It was a debacle. Back-to-back games, you don't score double digits. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, man. Yeah. Also more embarrassing. Brett Coleman. Vikings allowed 24 pressures tonight. Rams allowed 6. So even though the defense solidified pretty solidly in the middle part of the game, although the offense not doing anything and putting them in bad field position certainly hurt, a lot like the Lions game. In the 2 games against the Rams, and also remember the Rams' offensive line was banged up week 8. They had 9 pressures. 9. The Rams had 9 sacks on Darnold. Yeah. So Vikings allowed 24 pressures, 9 sacks, which is not... It's not good. It's not good. Also, only 11 of those 24 pressures happened within 2.5 seconds of the snap. My God, Sam. Also, 8 of the 9 sacks were against 4-man rushes. So, I mean, even though Darnold fought the good fight throughout the season, he ended up seeing ghosts again, and his accuracy was all over the place, and he picked the worst possible time to have his worst 2 games of the season. And don't know what to say. And it's crazy. All right, so maybe the Vikings shouldn't have celebrated the win over the Packers like they did. Who knows? Maybe it was a lot like the Minneapolis Miracle, where you have this emotional win and you have the emotional hangover, and that carried over to the Lions and the Rams game. Sure, but here's what I'm saying. Sam Darnold may have literally cost himself $100 million. In 15 days. Because remember, this was 15 days, 16 days now, but 15 days between the Packers and the Rams game. Basically, 2 weeks cost himself $100 million because he was going to get paid. The way that he was playing, and we made the case, like, the 2 months leading up to the Packers game, like, Darnold was a top 5 quarterback. Like, the numbers bear it out, and he was a big reason why the Vikings won 9 games in a row. Fourth quarter come from behind wins, game-sealing drives and all that stuff. But he's not getting $55 million a year now. And also, his tag and trade value is gone. It's 0 goose egg D'Angelo Russell. So Darnold might sign just like a 2-year, $40 million deal with the Titans. He may have gone from $55 million a year to $20 million a year on a short-term deal with a lot lower guarantees. That's how messed up things are. All right, but I know people are going to be like, well, a couple weeks ago you said that Darnold could be the future of the Vikings. He did. He was. That was a legitimate conversation, but no call, no show, and playing your worst. Honestly, Darnold against the Lions and the Rams look worse than he did at his worst with the Jets. That's how bad things were. But at least they made the decision easy, because now it's JJ McCarthy time. Amore, fatty. Love my fate. Something like that. But yeah, it's definitely JJ McCarthy time. And by the way, you know who's not going to be quarterback? No. I know all offseason long, as Rodgers retreats to a cave to smoke crack, all the pundits will be like, well, Brett Favre went to the Jets from the Packers and then went to the Vikings. Nah, not happening. Because this man has turned me into a Michigan fan. Hail to the victors, JJ McCarthy. He is going to win a dozen Super Bowls in 10 years. Nailed it. All right, yeah, we're all in with the broccoli. That's right. Also, speaking of another Michigan man, so tell us what Metellus. So I didn't like that a lot of fans were making fun of Josh Metellus for shedding some tears in the locker room, talking with the media jackals. I love this because Josh Metellus actually cares. He actually gives two hoots about this game, about this team, about everything. I understand that a lot of players just play for the money, right? It's about the lifestyle. They don't love the game. Josh Metellus loves the game. He loves his teammates. He loves everything about this organization. He was pissed. He was hurt. He was everything. And 44 left on the field. Like, he was still playing hard late in that game. Not everyone was. I think we know. A couple of people just had Cancun on their mind. Maybe after the Packers game, they're just like, we booked our non-refundable tickets to Cancun. Deuces. We out. Don't know. But no. Josh Metellus, this is real. And so to a degree, it doesn't bother me, but sometimes it bothers me, right? So after a big-time emotional loss like this, or after the Lions game, you got the players of both teams, just especially the losing team, just like laughing it up, swapping jerseys, doing all that stuff, acting like it's no big deal. That's why this is rare. That's why I love this. That's why Josh Metellus is a captain. He should have his contract freshened up, and he's going to be a leader on this defense for many years to come. Tell us what Metellus. Like, this team is going to be led by Michigan men. And also maybe we can find a way to trade for Mason Graham. I don't know. Lots of things going on there. Also, so we said from the jump, you have to play better than the ref's ref. I mean, the Vikings never get a whistle. And, the Rams, the league, we're going to be pushing their thumb down the scale just a little bit, right? But the Vikings did not. And, in the grand scheme of things, would this call have made a huge difference? Probably. So, first off, Stafford, this was not a pass. And also, if you watch the Manning cast, both Peyton and Eli immediately said that's not a pass. Belichick says that it was because Belichick, a defensive coach, he knows that all of the rules favor the offense, and the defense is never going to get a call. So that's the way he looked at things. So, by the way, Stafford's arm was moving forward, but before it did, the ball was coming out. And also, at minimum, it's intentional grounding because Puka was in the area, except Stafford didn't see him, and you have to throw with the intention of throwing to that receiver in the area. It wasn't that. But, of course, instead of a pick six, it's just incomplete. Or not a pick six, but a scoop and score. And instead of intentional grounding, lost the yardage, lost it down, it's just incomplete pass. Of course. Yeah. And, I don't know, there's a lot of things that woulda, coulda, shoulda this game. A lot like the Lions game. Like this one, scoop and score counts for Cashman. Grugier Hill actually blocks that punt, but what wasn't meant to be. Also, a lot of people made a big deal of this. Vikings only lost 4 games this year. Lions, Rams, then Lions, Rams. Back-to-back losses twice this season, right? And, the second round of the 2 matchups, not close, right? And that's what's frustrating because the first 2 rounds, close. Both games were 1-score games, even though, yes, the Rams game had the safety at the end. Vikings still had a shot. But this one, these last 2 games have just been an embarrassment. Right, and it does leave a sour taste in your mouth, even though, when you look back at things, this team had a lot of good things going. 5-game winning streak, a 9-game winning streak, and playing some tough physical defense. Flores and company getting after things offensively. They lit up the scoreboard, but how do you just finish with 9 points in your last 2 games, the 2 most important games of the year? Just ridiculous. But bright side, at least we got 24 hours of talking ish to the Packers. And it's funny, like a lot of Packers fans in the comments. Here's what's interesting too. So Lions fans and Eagles fans, they obviously go way too far. Like in real life as well as keyboard warriors and stuff. Packers fans are generally respectful, but they like to bust balls. But I feel like that's what's great about the rivalry is that I have a lot of friends and family who are Packers fans, and there's always ish talking for sure, but It's like that viral situation with the female Packers fan at the Eagles game, where the Eagles fan was just ridiculous, completely over the top. Yeah, and I've been to Lambeau a couple times. I've never felt in danger at all. Yeah, like a Packers game. No, because guess what? Yeah, we're gonna crack some jokes and we're gonna bust some balls and talk some ish. But guess what? We're also gonna have brats and hot dogs and like 17,000 beers, because that's what happens. Where it's so weird. I don't know. Like Eagles and Lions fans have really warped the grading on a curve, because I actually don't mind Packers fans. Actually, I feel like they're entertaining. It's like the Joker and Batman. It's like we need each other, or something like that. I don't know, but at least we can say we lasted longer in the playoffs than the Packers, and also beat the Packers twice. Not that anyone's counting. Congratulations on winning your Super Bowl. Shut up. Shut your face. A couple of free agents for the Vikings. Schefter, key free agents for the Vikings this offseason. Darnold, gone. Harrison Smith might retire. Stephon Gilmore said he might retire. Murph, I want him back. Want Murph back. Aaron Jones, back on a cheaper one-year deal. Yeah. Beasley might be too expensive. Cam Robinson's going to get paid. Vikings would get some comp pick credit. I want Tillery back. I want Shaq back at the right price. I want Buller back at the right price. Reisner, no. Munt, sure. Powell, sure. Mullins, no. Daniel Jones, yes. I want Daniel Jones to be JJ McCarthy's backup. Yeah. Cam Akers, yes. Heidi Ward, yes. Patrick Jones, second. He's going to get paid somewhere else. Yeah. Sherfield, yes. Grugier Hill, yes. Moreau, no. So that's it. We'll do a more in-depth breakdown, but it's basically where we're at right now. I think Beasley's going to get priced out for the Vikings. Also, it will be so great to have a safety who could tackle a running back in space. I don't know. Also, Vikings draft order is set. They're currently 24 in round 1. Is what it is. All right. And the Vikings, could easily see them trading down the spot, because we said, I'm actually glad the Vikings don't have a tier 1 pick, because outside of a couple blue chip prospects, I mean, gets a little bit dicey at the top. And I do think that it gets very flat very quick in terms of talent distribution. And I think that from picks like say 20 to 70, that's really where the money's going to be made in this draft. So I think the Vikings definitely could be a trade down candidate. Maybe one of the quarterbacks, whether it's Jalen Moreau, whether it's Jackson Dart, maybe some team. They don't see them as a tier 1 quarterback, but they feel fine getting into the back end of the first round and getting them and having that 5th-year option. Certainly could be that. Yeah. But also the Vikings, I don't have that. Yeah, Vikings right now have a 1-5-5-7 in terms of draft picks, and also in line to get a 3rd-round comp pick. Yeah. Also, Harrison Smith. Purple suasion. Harrison Smith said he will chill out before making a decision if this was his last season and retire. Smith was emotional with Nacho Libre, and he said he appreciates Vikings Nation to close out his presser on KFAN. I could see Harrison retiring, not having a press conference, just a press release, and just like dipping. And just, becoming a hermit for a little while. Being a family man, all that stuff. Could see that. Harrison was not the problem on defense this year. Also, Harrison did not quit in either one of these games, which is fantastic. So, Harrison, he could still play at an advanced age. Have to do something about that contract, but I would love to have Harrison back at the right price if he wants to keep playing. And other than that, we'll see. Yeah, he's definitely earned the right to take some time and decide, and we'll go from there. All-time great, should be in the Hall of Fame, but we'll see. Yeah, playoff bracket now. All right, so rooting interest. Any team from the AFC can win. I don't care, right? Even if it's the Chiefs, it'd be great for the Texans. That means Daniil, Diggs, and Keenum will get a Super Bowl ring, which would be fantastic. The Bills, I like the Bills. I don't mind Bills Mafia. The Ravens, love the Ravens. Love me some Lamar Jackson. And, hey, a purple team may as well win the Super Bowl, right? NFC, it's a different story. So I want the Rams and Commies to win, because I don't want there to be even the threat or specter of the Lions and or the Eagles getting to and winning the Super Bowl. That's done. That's it. I'm not rooting for a single team, although if the Bills could win, specifically against the Rams, I would make a little bit of cash in terms of the bracket pool, which would be great. But yeah, any team from the AFC is fine. And for the... Here's what's going to happen. Lions are going to win. Rams are going to beat the Eagles. And then Matthew Stafford is going to knock the Lions out of the playoffs. And no! And then the Rams are going to get boat raced by the Ravens probably. Who knows? But anyways, yeah, it's tough. It's like watching everyone else out at recess and then you're sitting in detention. Great. But it's okay because found the love of a lifetime. That's right, baby. Anyways, that's it. Vikings news dump. Keep your head up. Skull production value.